right. Here we go. Where's the other lights? I bet they do this when they're wet. When it's wet, it's tied around a stick. Isn't that freaking cool?
Oh, yeah.
That's freaking cool. My rock. My woven rock. I got good loot. People give me good loot. They say, you know, I think Marge would like that. And I do. Hi, welcome to my tube. My name's Marge. I'm a Hayok empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. I feel very good today. I feel exceptionally well today. I just am sleepy. Tired. It's been the neighbor had his stare. I need sleep at night because I like to spend time with my soul family. It makes living on this earth more bearable when I can spend time with my soul family in the ethers and my dreams. I think dreams are just our spirits in higher dimensions processing the same things we're trying to process on this earthly plane. We just get, a higher bird's eye view. But, I don't know. I think a lot of things that other people don't really consider. Well, once you start thinking about it and I start talking to them, I eventually start seeing the head nod. You know? Mm-hmm. Like I used to talk in rooms where there's a lot of people, sometimes, I don't know, 300-400 people, and I tell my story about my experience, my strength, my hope, and a lot of times people are just zoning out. They just have to be there just to, for credit or whatever. They're not really listening to what I have to say. You look out in a crowd and a lot of people when you're talking, and you look for the people that are nodding their head, So then I just start talking to them because they're the ones that are relating to me. They're the ones I'm talking to. Other people, that's why I have my own tube. This is just for people that are kind of like me at some point in their life. Somehow I will cross your radar because we have something to teach one another. And so the neighbor had his radio, so he don't sleep at night all the time. And so somebody had their radio on, and if it was just on, it would have been okay if they would have just turned down the bass. But see, I'm a energetic sensitive. I'm a highly sensitive, psychic, intuitive, clairvoyant being with the ability of telekinesis even. So when somebody turns on them and the bass is on, I'm like, boom, I'm up. And that happened this morning about 4:30. Well, I was so excited, though, because today I got to go pick up my Suburban. I can't believe how this unfolded. God is good. God is good. This is, I'm just here to, I just try to live right, not screw people over, not be a jerk. That one I fall short on a lot. Not, live in anger and all that stuff that I struggle with every day. I try to do the things that keep that stuff out of me, those vibrations out of me, and then God says, okay, here you go, Marjo, here you go. It's been a hard 5 years, man. It's been a real hard 5 years. And so I got to go pick up this Suburban today. And the guy that sold it to me, nice guy, he's a hugger. I'm a hugger. So we're standing in the parking lot at the Verizon store hugging each other. Thanks for the truck, man. And then he's like telling his son, see, did I tell you? He's like, did I tell you? Because other people, he's been getting so many offers on it. But he's like, no, I'm going to give it to her. So, I mean, like, people are like, we're off, because people were first, they started lowballing him, and then I came into the picture pretty quick. And then, so he's like, yeah, he's been getting calls where they want to pay like $6,500 and stuff for it. He gave it to me for $5,000. And I was willing to pay because I'm not a bar. If I would have had, but anyway. Thank you, Earth Angel. Because I went out the back door yesterday and I opened up and because I do these talks and I reach out to people, it crossed the people. I'm for the algorithm for people. A really small group. I'm not a big demographic at all. So when this nice lady found me a couple years ago and she's helped me and Mom so much over the last 2 years, 2 years, almost 3, 2 years. And then I went out the back door and there's a FedEx envelope there. And I opened it up because she was going to send me half and then I was going to sell the van and pay the rest. And she sent me for my birthday a check for the whole darn thing. It's just me all day long. I'm just like driving it. I don't thank you, God. It's just like, oh my gosh. So I don't have to be. I went right after I left him. I went right over to my insurance lady. And I was like, how much is it going to cost a month in insurance? She's like, $24. I was like, yes. It has a 40-gallon gas tank. It costs $100. Well, the way gas prices are right now, they're $3.32 here in northern New Mexico. It cost me $132 to fill it up. I don't do that. I'll drive into town 3 times, and on the 4th time, fill it up every time. That's what I do with the van. I just keep it full. So, then I came home and I was like, my body was just humming. I could have just elevated, right? I'm just like up here. And so my buddy called. Now what happened was I set it up yesterday. I live about 10 miles north of Taos, New Mexico. And they have a bus, and I saw that it came yesterday at 9:55. Doesn't mean it's going to come at 9:55. Everything, there's no schedule. There's no continuity. People do shit when they feel like it around here. It's a freaking trip, man. Thank goodness I listened to Robert Phoenix this morning and saw how the astrology was going. So I was prepared. But I'm not going to hide from life when days are rocky. I'm not going to just sit home and say, okay, I'm going to sit this out. I'm just going to be a little bit more cautious on these days. So I took heed his warning. I got into it with some dumb broad named Wendy in the chat with him this morning. I was just like, lady, I don't know you. And you really don't know me. So maybe we'll just, I don't know. I know a lot of people that are really shitty parents that should never have had children. So when people come to me and they act like it's like some sort of fucking like prize, like they did some sort of like, I don't know. I've saved people's lives, so that were already here. So, I mean, I know it's creating life and stuff, but don't come at me with that shit. 'Cause not everybody should be parents, and all I said is just like her son. Okay, it doesn't even matter. It's not even relevant to my happy day. So okay, back to my story. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna get into town to get the Suburban, to meet the guy, because he's coming in from the other way. He's coming in from the south. I'm coming from the north. We're kind of meeting. He was gonna meet me at the bank. And then he's like, can you meet me at this other place? Well, I got a text this morning about 9:15. The ride that I lined up said, I'm high-centered in the mud. And it was 9:15, and he was going to be here at 10. And I was like, all right, I got to get his plan B. Thank you, Robert Phoenix. Go with the flow. Right? So I'm like, the neighbor out here, I went and asked that neighbor. She didn't answer. Went over here, and he's like, yeah, I'll take you. Yeah, and he's like, I'm going in about an hour, and I'm looking, and I got to leave in, it's like 9:43, and it's kind of cutting it close. And then I came back inside, and I'm like, all right, just pause. Just take it easy. And then I looked out the window, and then my other neighbor up front, her sister-in-law was over, so I went, Phew! I said, are you going to town? No, I was taking one of the dogs out, and she came out, and I was like, are you going to town? She's like, oh, I could, you know. So I was like, dude, I'll give you $20 if you give me a ride into. I need to get to Sentinel Bank, and then on the way in, like I don't know, she was with her friend, and her friend was going along for the ride, but it's like she was kind of more interested in hurrying back to meet her boyfriend. So she was like, you think you could get the guy to meet you closer? I'm like, no. I can't. I'm buying a. What? I guess it's worth a shot to ask. You gotta ask, you know. I don't know. Anyway, so she was okay with taking me to the store, you know, because I'm like, dude, I'll freaking huff it. You know, it's kind of close. My feet will hurt later. Oh, well, but I'll huff it. So I went on my way and then met him after the bank kind of gave me a freaking... Like, why are you... Just give me my money. It says my balance is clear. Why do people question my integrity? Where does it say that I'm a freaking shyster? I called yesterday to see if the check clear, you know, if it would clear, to talk to him before I went to the bank. And then when I was at the bank, I talked to him again. So, I mean, like, I'm being proactive and they're still gonna, like, oh, you gonna put me in my place? Give me my money. That's all right. People have been putting me in my place my whole life. Whatever. I just talk about it here. You know, so she left and the other people helped me and it was fine. The man, whatever she was, you know, and it's like, dude, don't tell me you work hard when you're that big and you're that big, you know, you got to burn more calories than you eat. Every human being does. Do they? No. How's society going? Pretty, no. You know, people that treat their soul sacks good, people that feel good about themselves, not so much that they're like, you know, freaking doing the Ben Davidson, you know, with his little tiny shirts and his big muscles out of his little tiny shirts. Like, dude, get the next size up, man. We get it. You work out like 2-3 hours a day. What do you do for people that can't help themselves every day? Besides put out your report, but you get a lot of money for doing that. So it's work. You're getting paid to do a job. It's not really service. Where's all the community service? So anyway, my buddy couldn't pick me up because he was high-centered, stuck in the mud 30 miles north in Tres Pedras, Three Peaks. And so I got home and I was all wound up. And it was about 12:30 and I hadn't heard nothing from him. And so I sent him a message. And I was like, you still stuck? He's like, yeah. I said, well, why don't I just come on out and see about pulling you out? And we'll see how this 4-wheel drive works. So, and when I came home, the guy neighbor was out, and so I was all excited. I'm like, come over, look what I just got it. Come look at the engine. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like up here, and so he comes out, and he's not a real big guy either. So we're hopping up. I'm hopping up on the, you know, we're up on the engine and stuff, and he takes off. There's 2 bolts that are hold down the air cleaner, and then the air cleaner is over the, well, I guess carburetor. It has the 2 butterfly valves in it. What, right? Well, one of them came out, and then he screwed it back in, and then he put it back down. And so, and I was like, okay, I pictured that in my head. Okay, cool. Note for like, so I drive out to Tres Pedros or whatever, you know, drive out there. It's like 30 miles north town or out past the gorge. I drove over the gorge. I hate driving over the gorge. It freaks me out. I'm not afraid of heights. I'm afraid of falling. So, and I don't have a whole lot of faith in freaking the people that like turned wrenches in this state. They're not real motivated. So that's an old rickety bridge and it scares me. So I walked over it one time. I probably wouldn't do it again. But anyway, when a buddy needs you, you help him out. So I take off up north and everything's good and it's cruising. I'm like, man, this is a nice ride, man. It's right smooth. I brought my Bluetooth speaker, so I'm like, I got my tunes going. I'm like, okay, Marge, I think maybe we're coming on the other side of this freaking cold hard 5 years you've been through, Marge. You know, I think it's finally happening. And so I get out there and I never been there before and my GPS doesn't work. And there's not street signs and stuff like that out there. It's like, if you get to the Peach Bus, you went too far kind of thing. And so it was all that with like me pulling over trying to message him and waiting for him. It was all that, but I was just maintain my I was just happy to be there, and I wasn't getting too upset, but so I start up the road. I found it. I called because where I called them, they said you're gonna see a sign that says this, and I start reading the sign that I see, and what the guy said, I read it as he said it, and I was like, okay, I'm on the right track. So go up Colorado Road, and put in 4-wheel drive. I'm like, all right, here we go. I felt like I was driving a boat in water. I was like, it was so muddy. And I get to one point in the road, and then it just accelerates by itself, starts accelerating by itself. The RPMs go up to 5,000, and it just goes up the hill. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like something stuck. Like, I'm like, this... I just bought this fucking thing. So I freaking turn on, I slam it in neutral. I turn off I turn it off. I let it sit for a second, and then I cycle it through back into park. And I'm like, what just happened? This is like, wow, So I turn it on, and I'm like, up the hill, And I was just like, dude, I don't know, I gotta go to his house. I'm right down from the hill, I could kind of see his van up there. So I'm like, boom, boom, boom. I tested the Suburban out fully today. I'm mobbing up this hill, just blah, 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 and then every now and again I freaking like turn it off. Get up the hill, turn it off, and then I'm right there by my buddy Reg Religion. He's Terrence McKenna's nephew. He's a trip, dude. He's a cool dude, man. And he helps a lot of people, too. And he didn't have he's like me, he's like the one that helps everybody, but he don't got nobody to help him, but a couple, so I help him as much as I can. And, he really I think he felt bad, too, because he really wanted to, like, show up for me today. I'm like, dude, you're in a minivan, and I just fucking ripped it because it rained all night. And so I was going through like 9 inches of mud. Good thing that thing has a 2-inch lift kit on it, man. But I know what it can do. So I tell him what happened. He takes off the air cooler, and when he lifts it up, I only see one bolt come up. I said, there's only one bolt. That's supposed to have 2. And he looked down in there, and sure as shit, the dude didn't put the freaking bolt back in. It fucking went down in and held the butterfly flap to the carburetor out, so I was maxed out. Reg is like, let me go grab some pliers. I go down in there, I grab it. I'm like, I gotta go home. I am 30 miles from home. I'm like, trying not to reel. I freaking slip and fell in the mud. Look at this shit. It's freaking hilarity. I don't even know if I can wear these ever again. Uh-oh. They're calling dogs. Look at these. These were my shoes. So much mud. I wiped out. I busted my knuckle open. Not real bad. But I was just like, yeah, I'm alive! It's covered in dirt. It is so muddy. I freaking love it. I broke her in real good. So the thumbnail today is a picture of the drive back into town. So I don't know if you can see all the mud on it. Why do I have such a hard time with lighting? It drives me crazy. Because I feel like I could figure it out. There it is. It's a little better. That was my buddy down here that got stuck. And it is cool because once I got situated, he pulled me up to the toe strap. He said, okay, now I'm high center, but the engine's actually on a mound of dirt. So you're going to want to just give it a jerk. So I did. And then he's like, and then we get out. So he's not high centered and we're in the middle of the road and I stop and he comes up. He said, now, okay, it's in neutral. So just pull it all the way. And the woman who was in the car, Amelia said, hi, Mom, by the way. I forgot to tell you, she said hi. She always says, tell your mother. She likes to give her stuff. She really likes Mom. I really like Mom. Mom's likable. So I had it I was towing it from the back because we couldn't get at it from where it was at the front. So I drug it up the hill and she was like, man, you were hauling. She's like, that was fun. I wasn't going really fast, but see, that's the thing is just, I mean, when I see a need for people, to help them out, I'm there to help. That's what God has me on this freaking planet for. I mean, my whole life, I've been support. My job title in the Air Force was age support, flight line support. There is no air power. There is no air killing unless we get your shit going. So we were mission essential. When I was in IT, every job I've ever had was mission essential. I held a position that everybody else couldn't do their job if I didn't do mine. And now I live in a society where people just don't feel compelled to they don't have that inner drive to work anymore. They don't have the steam to drive the train. Fortunately, we're coming up on Aries season here real quick. Oh, we are in Aries season. Just kidding. It was yesterday. I knew that. We're in the midst of it. We're just getting going. We're in the first deacon. So the way I see it, people are still in their feelings, from the water. And then the water, once we get more into the first, second deacon, once we get more fire, once we get more of that Aries energy, it's going to burn out. It's creating a momentum. That's why they're all saying, plant your seeds. I missed the window because I was all caught up with this suburban thing, so I didn't get to do them. I didn't do the new moon stuff. I know I still have a window. I'm not going to make myself rush. Tomorrow's going to be kind of a busy day. And I got like a late afternoon appointment. Tucker has to get his stitches, and I don't do real good with late afternoon. I do better in the morning, and sometimes that's questionable. See, this is what I did in Omaha, is I bought the house, and then I wanted to fill it with the family. And I got Mom, and then the relationship fell up and all that's just, I'm not good at that stuff, so I don't spend my energy on it. So why is this always, I hate shuffle because it's not shuffle. It doesn't shuffle. It plays a pattern, and it plays the same pattern of the songs. And so I end up just going, But now we have brand new key. And every time I hear this song, I think of you, Whitney White. Every single time. I lived with the whites in Sacramento before I went to the Air Force. I was a couch surfer for a while, and I didn't have a place to live, so these people took me in, and me and my dog Arthur. So I lived there like 6 months, and they had a really nice pool and stuff. And I'd get this 64-ounce mug that I had, and I'd fill it up with Jack Daniels and about that much Coke, and the rest. And I would sit in the floaty, and I get so tan in the summer, you know. I turn a nice caramel color, and so it was just like me, and I just like go to the, because I would, those were my drinking days. I was in oblivion. I strive for oblivion. And one day she came out with her old timey roller skates, and with this song, she started blaring this song, and then she came out and started roller skating around her swimming pool. It was so cute. She was like a little sister to me. And then I moved off to the night before. This is a funny story since I like telling stories. I'm really actually quite reserved. And you know what alcohol does to people. It brings out potentials of who they are, yet society might not necessarily like that version of you. And the idea is, for one, if people start acting in a kind of way, like a Jekyll and Hyde type thing when they drink, the idea is, okay, if things like this happen when I drink, then I shouldn't drink. That's how I live my life, and I don't drink because I break out in handcuffs. So the night before I'm driving out to Omaha, this is so funny. They take me out to these strip clubs. And that stuff makes me really uncomfortable. I'm very aware. I'm a very self-aware person. I'm a very sexual being. I'm just not a sexual being with everybody. It's just one person, and I don't even know who she is yet. So it's not on my radar. Anyway, people just, I don't know, they put too much precedence and stuff on that chasing sensations stuff, I think. So there's other ways to freaking get your yayas out. You know, you go work out, you know, go swim, go run. There's other ways, you know, you don't got to freaking pass yourself around like the 7th tradition basket. So then it was she and some people, they took me out to this strip club. And I wasn't driving, of course. They were. And so I was just like, I was faded. And I said, I can do that. So I decided to get up and dance on the pole or dance on the stage. I didn't touch the dancer or anything like that. It wasn't nothing like that. I just want. They asked me to leave and never come back. I was like, all right, that's cool. I'm shipping out, so to speak. And then I drove out and picked up a hitchhiker named Pan. Like, you know, Pan. Isn't that a trip? I just picked him up. I mean, I don't pick nobody up unless I can. I don't. If I think that they can overpower me, I'm not gonna pick them up. If I think that I'm cool, then they're like relatively harmless. And the guy was. I mean, he was up all night because the last chick that picked him up gave him a line, so he was like spun out on crank or something. So, and he had a little dog. So I'm not gonna leave a guy and a dog out in the middle. It was like right out on the Wyoming border, and then he came across, and then I got a hotel. He slept on the other queen. I said he took a shower and I thought they were gonna keep my deposit. I was like, dude, because he hadn't had a shower in who knows how long, and there was like this black residue on the bottom of it. I was only so I called the guy. They call it a sponsor, your point of contact when you get there. And I said, well, if I come in tonight, is somebody gonna be there to let me into my dorm? I won't be in until 11 o'clock at night. And I've been traveling over 8 hours, so I'd feel better if I could just get a hotel room and come in the morning. It'd be safer. So I come strolling into the shop at like noon or 11 or something like that. Nothing about me is militant except for the fact that I mean, okay, there's a lot of things about me that are militant. I misspoke. My standards are higher than that of the Air Force. That's why I only did 6, because I saw what shit it was and what crap it was. And I'm like, dude, I grew up poor. We freaking, mom struggled, as much as we struggled, it put pressure on her, psychologically, our lives were very difficult because of how poor we were, because all the fucking money went to this shit, goes to this shit, so we can go to places that we have no business being and killing a bunch of people that just woke up that day. Business as usual, and here comes America. There were no weapons of mass destruction. We had no business for 20 years. Where's the karma for that? Oh, it's coming, folks. But that's all right, because I got my post-apocalyptic vehicle. Mom, you good? Yes. Mom's good? You getting tired, huh? Mm-hmm. I always put her to sleep when I do them late like this. So, the dogs are good. Tucker, I managed to keep him from chewing out all of his stitches. Luna's up here on top. They all like to take turns on top. See, I put this chair here because Mom sits here, and then I put this chair because sometimes I'll sit here, but mostly I sit back there because I basically sleep on a dog bed. It's like a full size mattress, like one of those memory fold mattresses, but I gotta clean stuff. I'm busy. So little Luna Tickle, isn't she so cute, Mom? She says, "Don't bother me. I'm not in the mood." That's Luna Tickle. Is that Luna? That's Luna. Oh. Good girl, pretty lady. And Benny and Artie Pants and Tucker are all over there snoozing, but Benny's getting up, so I'm gonna have to take him out. So that was the story of my first day in the Suburban. My mind keeps wanting to call it a Subaru, but it's not. It's a Suburban. But now tomorrow I get to. I think maybe I'll spray her off. If I get into town early enough, I'll get to spray her off and make her look real nice. But she's got a couple little quirks. Like the back door flies open sometimes. You gotta be in there, you good boy, Benno. Tomorrow we're gonna put Benny in the bourbon and not the bourbon into Benny. Oh, Benny, you're such a good boy. He's your favorite, huh, Mom? Yeah, he's nice. I'm surprised you guys were sitting by each other in the chair. I have a hard time getting when Mom sits in her chair up here, she drinks plenty of water and stays hydrated because the cup is right there and I keep it full all the time because she won't. And then, but we got the recliner back here. It's a recliner for 2, and usually Mom and Benny sit back there together, and I look at Benny, he's like the poses that he does. It's like, dude, you are not on this plane. He is not on this. He's like, bleh. It's like his he's all splat. He's a good dog. So tomorrow Mom's going to go for a little ride in the Suburban. I got to think of a name for her, Ma. She's got moxie. Yeah, she's got moxie. So I don't know. Once she lets me know what her personality's more like, it's just like a cat or a dog, just like any other pet. You gotta watch them a few days. You gotta see what their personalities are like. I think the animals tell us what they want to be called, And then you got the same people that are all the same frequency that want to name, this kind of cat this name, and it's like, yeah, you and a trillion other people. I saw a girl that got a cat, and she was asking for recommendations. And somebody said one of those names that everybody names a cat like that. you know? And I thought it was the funniest thing. She eloquently said, "Yes, but no." I was cracking up. Yes, but no. I'm like, I gotta remember that. She's an Aries too. She's an April 12th Aries. I don't know. I miss my friend Raquel. I want to get her to come out and visit me, and her daughter if she wants to come too. Whoever come along. There's direct flights to Taos. I'll show you around, dude. This place is cool. It's the place to be when the end of the world comes, when the sun goes out, like, you know, and the poles flip and all that, and all the water from the Gulf ends up in Canada by way of Omaha and the whole Midwest. This is the place to be. That was on Ben Davidson's one of his in his disaster playlist, the safe zones. Yeah, right here. It's one of them. I'm gonna try and get everybody I love to come here. Come here where it's safe, please. Because California's fucked, man. California, excuse my language. California. Oh dear, I'm trying not to cuss. I cuss when I get fired up. That's for sure. California is it's gonna deal with the whole list of problems that it's never dealt with, and you got people that don't have really good ideas to begin with, so they're gonna be what are we gonna I don't know, what do you think we should do? And you know, it's my sister-in-law is like a water engineer for California. Like, she has a hard hat and goes out, you know, like I think like one I remember a story one time, like when she went out to check the temperature or something, when their solution was to put a bunch of black balls in the water to keep it cooler so it wouldn't evaporate as fast. Why don't you just come in and drop a bunch of really big ice cubes? Anyway, oh my god, I'm so rambling on. Hey, Kevman, how are you today, dude? My soul family, they're the people that I haven't, their spirits, they're my family in the cosmos that we meet in our dreams because I haven't met them yet on the earthly plane. But when I'm in the spirit realm, it's like all the places I've always ever wanted to be welcome at the same time. And actually welcome. That's what it feels like to me. Like like the precedent that's set that first time. You know, if you're good, we'll go to McDonald's and get some French fries. And you taste those French fries. You know? Feels like that. Or, hey, I got a surprise. Go get in the car. You know, we start driving for hours. Where are we going? Disneyland. Stuff like, I mean, that's what all the good stuff that I've seen people live their lives like. I did get to go to Disneyland though. That was a real experience. But it doesn't it's been hard to stay in the light for me. Because it's just easier to just, you know, because, see, when I was little and I'd throw tantrums, I'd get my way. And as I get older, you know, I found it, you know, to be effective also. Well, what I also come to find out is that's me throwing my will around. And that may not be the best course of action for everybody else around me in my close proximity. So it's taken me a lot of years. And some days I digress, most of the time. though. I yield. I can yield. And people out in society today, they're not yielding. See, I wanted to get a big old slow truck, and it's not like real slow. But I mean, it don't go like I don't even know. It's like speed limits are 55, 75, 80, and like the max. But then they make cars that go like twice, three times that. And now you got all these stupid kids out there, playing in the parking lots, freaking burning rubber and just. I think that'd be great one day if you just gave kids an outlet and a place to do that. Just to do that, give them a garage so they can fix their car, stuff like that. Let them learn how to drive proper. Because every freaking kid, every freaking parent that has a kid, they act like this is, as soon as mom and dad are out of the car, they're fucking driving like an asshole at some point. Unless they're just really, really scared. But I think a lot of kids aren't even getting licenses anymore. I was like, dude, 16, man, that was freedom to me. I wonder how many miles I put under my feet just from driving in my whole life. Because I used to drive all over California. I drove across, freaking from California to Omaha, back to work. My dad was a cross-country trucker. I think it's just, and I'm an Aries like him. So I think it's just in me. I'm just a traveler. I like to see things and stuff. Well, I've traveled so much in my life. What I figured out now is that a lot of places they're just like someplace else you've ever been if you've traveled a lot. All the time changes in timelines and all that. It's like there's a lot of people that stuff doesn't matter to. There's a lot of versions of the world going on right now, and I think that the clocks are going to sync up. I think something's going to happen, and people, a whole bunch of people, like a lot of people are going to be inconvenienced, and they're going to find out what it is to live in service in a genuine, authentic way. Not this shit that I'm seeing. But I'll keep waiting.